Welcome to NaviWork, your guide to settling into a new organization. Fresh out of school or transitioning from one organization to the next. I know it can be challenging to navigate the work environment because I've been there, done that, and worn the t-shirt. I am the amazing Ameze, and I'm here to help. I can't wait to see you every Monday at 7 a.m.
I got a couple of messages this week about people that experience loss. One person lost a pregnancy and that means had a miscarriage, and another person lost her best friend. And I felt very strongly that, we need to address dealing with grief when you're working. Now, the thing about grief is that it is unexpected. You're not looking at somebody and planning for the person to pass away. You get pregnant, you're very excited, you're expecting to carry the baby to term. You saw your daddy over the weekend, or you were planned, in my case, I was planning to see my dad at the weekend when in 2012. And in fact, I was going to go and spend the night because my mother was out of town. So I was going to go and spend the night, with my dad on a Friday, and then wake up and make him breakfast. And then I was called on Friday morning that my dad, they're trying to wake him up and he's not waking up. So I'm going to be talking about how to deal with grief. And because it is a thing, so I don't want anybody to feel less because they have to deal with grief. Anybody that tries to make you feel less, please, there's something one of my colleagues, one of my bosses used to say, ignore. Click on it in your mind. Ignore such a person. The truth is, whether we like it or not, in our lives, in our careers, we will experience loss, we'll experience something that will make us grieve, and we would have to go to work. So how do we deal with situations where we are grieving, And so I'm going to try to talk about this as succinctly as I can within the time frame that we have. I'll just discuss about 4 points, and then I'll let us go and get ready to wrap up and get ready for the TGIF, which is Friday. Okay, so the first thing I took note of, or when I researched, was you need to be upfront with your employer. Now, if you may say to myself, it's my personal issue, but if your personal issue is affecting your work, is something you have to deal with. You cannot, because the truth is, when you're going through grief, it can affect the quality of your work because you're not concentrating. There are times when, especially when I lost my dad, I would just be staring into space. I would be working and then I would just drift away because I'm thinking of what could I have done? Could I have been there? Could I have acted differently? So in dealing with that, if my employer doesn't know, there was another time I was dealing with something tragic that had happened to me. And even though my boss knew, she still felt I was unduly distracted. What I should have done was have a conversation with her. But the truth is, at that time, I didn't even know how much that situation would impact me. But I could have had a conversation to say, this is what I'm dealing with, and I feel like I'm going to be distracted in this period. People will call me either to commiserate with me or to ask me what went down, and it will just affect me. So I think I should take some time off, something like that. But I didn't have a conversation. And I think that was the worst appraisal I'd ever had. I felt bad. I felt, but you know what I was going through. Why didn't you even just have mercy on me at that time? But I didn't have a conversation. I didn't have a conversation about the impact of what I was dealing with. Maybe because I didn't know. But that's why we have NaviWork. So that when you have gone through a friend of mine was going through a divorce. She just had an issue and she was going through a divorce. And her manager said this to her: it's going to get very busy. I need you to take the day off. I think the day or 2 days, I can't remember. And then when you come back, I want you to come back with your A game because it's going to get really busy. And that's what she did. Thankfully, her manager knew that what you're dealing with is bigger than what you think. So you need to, I'm glad. You just lost your dad. Kate, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry to hear that. So sorry to hear that. So yes, this will help you, and please practice it. So have that conversation and say, this is what I'm dealing with. It's a loss. Can I take a day or 2 off? Now, there are different kinds of people. So you need to be patient with yourself and acknowledge what you need.